Hello everybody, I'm back with your April reading, even though we are officially 1 week into April. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and do your reading, and what I'm already noticing is that April is yet another hugely transitional month. Lots of changes happening, lots of new energies coming in. Really powerful moon movement. So we just went through the new moon on the 5th. And the full moon coming up in another 2 weeks is set to be a pretty powerful one in Libra. So lot of relationship stuff being looked at. The Aries new moon was really all about sovereignty and ourselves, and basically making sure that we were creating for ourselves, releasing ourselves from any kind of bondage that we might have had, bringing ourselves to real personal freedom. And that's what kept coming out in all the readings that I was doing. And then we're going to be hitting the full moon in Libra, which is the second one that we've had this year so far, which is sort of unusual, I think. So we'll be circling back to look at relationship again, just because that's kind of what Libra is all about. So that should be interesting. But I do think that we are continuing to move through some energies of asserting yourself in appropriate places in appropriate ways, and standing your ground and standing in your own power, and recognizing the places where we have given our own power away. And that can include looking at that even more closely within relationships as we move forward in this month, okay? So that's kind of what I'm feeling off the bat for April. Let's see what comes up in the cards, okay? So I just want to get, if I could have some of the energies that are coming in for us in April, please. Some of the energies coming in for the collective in April. Oops. Wow, okay. So with the Magician coming up with the Knight of Coins here, I don't like that my light always makes these cards hard to see. So that's really about slow and steady self. I feel like it's almost like tuning an instrument, or it's almost like slowly sharpening steel or something like that. With the Magician showing up here, the Magician has the tools to get it done, right? The Magician is always creating his own reality. And so it's almost like with the Knight of Pentacles coming up, who's very slow and steady, it's like we're slowly honing our skills and really like paring down to the core of who we are. And it's like, none of us are born knowing exactly what that is. And this is a really potent time for finding out what that is, what our skills and abilities are. And really, the words I was hearing was to whom we belong, okay? And belong not in an ownership sense, but in an acceptance sense, and in a family type sense, okay? Or like tribe sense. So I think that, you know, between discovering our selfhood now and then discovering ourselves within other groups of other people in the next few weeks, there's just going to be a lot of self-discovery that's going on. And we need to remember that it's okay to take it slow, and it's okay that it is taking this time, and we might be repeating lessons that we thought we had already learned, only because we're taking it deeper, okay? It's very important that we, you know, so I'm hearing with this card also that we can trust the journey, that we can trust the process we're going through right now, and we really just need to take it step by step and flow with it and not resist it. okay? Or not panic that we're repeating lessons or something. If you are going through a lesson, again, it's because you needed it. So don't resist it. Don't get mad and say, I already did this, okay? And if this is new to you, then the more resistance that you put up toward any kind of challenge that comes your way, energetic challenge or relationship challenge or whatever, the harder it's going to be. And you need to ask yourself, you know, what your truth is. What is the truth in a situation? Because different people are going to have different truths about different things. There's one commenter on a Facebook, or not Facebook, a YouTube reading that I did once, and they asked, you know, if my readings are come out differently from yours, what does that mean? And I said to him that I felt that, you know, truth is actually somewhat subjective, that each one of us has our own truths on top of more universal truths, right? Somebody else stepped in and was like, there's only one truth. There's not only one truth, people. You need to figure out what your truth is, and make sure that's the direction you're moving in, though it be slow and steady, okay? And that is being highlighted here with the Ace of Swords coming up, which is literally the card for truth. And that comes up here with the Seven of Cups, which tells me there is a lot of stuff to sift through and sort through. There's a lot of potentialities out there, and we've really got to take the time during this month to decide what it is we're going for, what it is that we're putting in our own cup, right? There's like all these cups here. God, this light. There's all these cups here, and they each have a different thing in them. Some of them wonderful and some of them terrible, right? So it's like, which ones are ours? Which ones fit your dreams? And you have the right, with the Magician showing up here, and the ability to create your own life. Yes, of course, it can be very slow and steady because maybe you have obstacles to get over as you're creating your own life. Maybe you don't have the job you want, and to get that job, maybe you need an education in a certain, you know, area, or, you know, maybe there are obstacles to overcome to really step into that relationship that you want. Or maybe there's just, you know, a process you need to go through in order to take on some project that you want to do. So just know that you do have the tools to do it. You should plan to take it step by step, and you should only make the decisions that match your truth, okay? That match you on the truth level. All right, let's get some more cards. So those are definitely important energies. What are we... All right, let's go with the what are we releasing this month? What are we releasing this month? They'll give us an idea of what to look for that we should not continue to drag along behind us. What are we releasing this month? Well, that's interesting. I've got 3 court cards over here, and I don't quite know what that means, I'll be honest with you. The other card that came up is Justice, and that makes a ton of sense, because this is like, you're creating your own karmic justice by balancing your own scales, by empowering yourself. And so you're releasing those things that don't serve you anymore, the stuff in these cups that is not working, okay? Because this is being overwhelmed by the decisions and the opportunities and the options and the possibilities, and just like completely burdened in some senses in the mind. Even though this is a cups card, like I feel like in some senses this is like your mind spinning with all the possibilities. So we are releasing a lot of karmic baggage here with the Justice card. Okay, so these court cards came up. We've got the Queen of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the Knight of Wands showing up. And my first thought, okay, with the Justice card, my first thought was basically people that you're releasing from your life. Like, there might be people that are putting your scales off balance, okay? Just because court cards just came out. It's like this little family here. This card can also talk about things like divorce or settlements or court cases or whatever. Now, this is not predictive of like any kind of judgment you might have, but I'm just saying that there might be situations in which a greater power, whether it be a divine, a divine power or the power of the law, steps in to help you make these decisions because you're not making them on your own. And it's only going to be something that's for your highest and best good, okay? Nothing will happen that isn't in your best interest and in the best interest of the other people involved. So I feel like in some ways this is, again, we're looking forward to that full moon in Libra near the, on the 19th, I think. And so it's almost like taking stock of what the balance that you have in your relationships with all of these other people, whoever they might be, and just really seeing where things are not equal, where things are not balanced. Who is taking from you as you give yourself to them over and over again, okay? Or are you taking more than you're receiving? This is about balance in the Justice card. It's about justice being done, karma being balanced out, decisions being made in the court of law, whatever it is, okay? And so there are many, many characters in our lives, and with each one, we need to be careful to be on an equal give and take. With each of these, the Queen of Wands, the Page of Cups, and the Knight of Wands, each one of these people are coming and going from your life, okay? I know I'm not directly reading these cards, but they really came out like a little family to me, and I feel like they represent people in our lives that we need to evaluate closely for the ways in which our relationships are imbalanced. It doesn't mean that every one of these people has to leave your life or something like that, but it certainly means that we need to consider the ways in which we are in relationship with them and what is the balance? What is the balance like? And because this came up for what are we releasing, I do feel like it's codependency that we're releasing. Okay, there's a codependent vibe to all of this. Who are all the people that we are trying to serve as we do not serve ourselves, okay? Who are all the people we're taking care of and letting ourselves, fall to pieces at the same time? Now, I feel that there should be less of that going on because we've already been looking at our sovereignty. Where are we enslaved? And codependency is a type of emotional enslavement. And so, there are going to be, okay, the page, this could be a child. So there are going to be ways that we are appropriately attached to them or appropriately giving more to them than they are giving back to us. Okay. But like this queen and this knight, this could be a wife. This could be a mother. This could be a brother, a friend, a husband, a boyfriend. It doesn't even have to be male, the male and female roles can be switched around too. It's just people holding these energies. And what role are they playing in our lives? On the negative end, both of these energies are extremely narcissistic. On the positive end, they're just very energetically attractive. You know what I mean? So are they depleting you or are they building you up? Are they helping to, are they symbiotically relating to you as opposed to parasitically? Okay, I think I talked about that in one of my last readings. Okay. What do we have to look forward to coming in April? What are we looking forward to in April? And nothing's coming out. That's not promising. I'm just joking. Something will come out. What do we have to look forward to in April? Too many. All right. I'll take it. The Wheel of Fortune. I think that, I don't remember when that came out. I think that came out in some other reading, where it's just that idea of slowly moving forward in fated events. Like, we're making these changes that we are supposed to make in this lifetime at this time for a reason, okay? Because we have a purpose. We have something to accomplish, some one or many to affect with, with change, whatever it is. And even if it's just our own healing, we're going to, especially light workers who are pretty much the sum total of people watching my channel, just by existing, you have a big energy field and you are affecting those around you. I mean, I definitely notice, not to say I'm so great, but I definitely notice the difference the longer I'm around people, that people start to look at their own shit and fix their lives, and maybe that's because they're learning something, or maybe it's just because it triggers them, and it's okay. Like, that's how this works. So you are triggering people. Everybody is being pushed forward in this sort of fated cycle of healing and integration and releasing. It's going to keep continuing for a while. And that's just talking about the bigger picture. As far as this cycle, trying to get a feeling here. I feel like the next 2 weeks into the next full moon are going to be pretty intense cycles. It might settle out after that, or maybe I'm just not seeing past that. I can't tell you for sure. But this is a big, big time for changes, for movement forward, for changing things in the right direction, for taking a turn for the better, for I'm just seeing like people who might have been on one timeline, like diverging to a higher timeline at times. And it really does feel very like divinely guided, all this stuff. I mean, it's a major arcana card. It is by definition, but just looking at this picture, it kind of has this feeling of like the nativity to me. And so it's almost like the birthing of these new timelines for people as they move forward with this wheel. Okay. So that's all very positive, because whatever comes out of it is all for your highest and best good. And that's kind of like the deal all the time. But these are big events. These are like setting you up for the next like cycle, the next several years. I don't even know how much a cycle is right now. And I think it depends. It's different for everyone, what cycle you might be on. So I feel like some decisions now are setting you up for the next few years. I do feel like this is going to be centered in the area of family or relationships, especially. Some of you jobs, but I really feel like there's like, housing situations or relationships that are continuing or not continuing, or maybe some kind of moving in or out with parents. There's something that's like going on with that. So that kind of stuff is coming up. King of Wands is coming out here too. This is definitely something to look forward. This is stepping into your full power, okay? Your full sovereignty, which is what we have been talking about. And so I feel like most of us are getting to this point where we are able to do that. I was just thinking about my own life this morning, actually, sitting outside with my dogs, and I was like, just a few years ago, I felt so beaten down and tied down by so many things. Like, I felt like I had so many awful obligations, so many just really negative people around me who had crazy expectations, and I felt like I had to live up to all of them. And really, I had control of my whole life. I am lucky that I had the opportunity, that I was running my own business. I was, self-sufficient. I could leave any relationship. I could, fire or remove any volunteers. And yet I didn't do it. I kept holding on to them all because I thought that that was the right thing to do. I thought that, like, taking people out of your life was the non-compassionate thing to do. And yet, after a while, I learned that that indeed is the compassionate thing to do, because they're not happy either if they're in this constant push-pull with you, and they may not have the strength or the knowledge or the courage or whatever to make that move themselves. And so me, as the aware one in the situation, had to make those decisions. They continue to be difficult anytime I have to make those decisions, but that's being in your power, and it's not about making decisions that are cruel. It's about making decisions that are in the highest and best good, first of yourself, because you can't help anybody if you are not in a stable position yourself, and secondly, of everyone, okay? Because everyone's suffering if the situation is bad enough that you are literally suffering, okay? All right, let's get some oracle cards here. This is the Magical Dimensions Oracle. I'm going to ask more about what energies can we expect to assist us in April. What energies can we expect to assist us in April? Okay, this is called Ice Queen, and it says introspection, self-analysis, fortitude. And so that feels a lot like what I was just talking about, which is funny because I used to speak of myself negatively as an Ice Queen because I could do that. You know what I mean? And now I'm starting to see, maybe I wouldn't call it Ice Queen now, but I'm starting to see that kind of analytical side, the kind of, making hard choices for the good of all, that sort of thing, as a benefit to people, as a good trait to have. And so that's coming in for us. And that is really all about self-strength, okay? The next one that I pulled, or the first one actually that came out, was Inspirational Creation, Alchemy, the Elements, Innovation. Okay, and so I feel like this is that integration of the energies that we have been receiving throughout the last couple months, and I feel like they are what is pushing us toward this self-sufficiency, this tearing away from codependent type behavior. And so the alchemy comes in there because that's just like the meshing of all those energies within us to create a healthy, happy whole. It also goes along with the Magician card with the elements. This is like creative energy that's coming up, and what you're creating is your own life moving forward. You're co-creating with the divine, the life that you want, okay? And the life that you signed up for in a sense, like, depending on what your belief system is, like the life that you could truly live if you were living your best life. If you were on your highest timeline, you have the power to create that now. Whatever changes that means, whatever knowledge that requires you to bring in, all of those things, you have the power to create that in this month. So that is an incredibly empowering card. Okay, let's get a couple more before I close it up, because if I go over half hour, people don't watch it. Or they do, but I don't know. Okay, let's get some more cards for the energy of April. What other messages do we need for the month of April? Messages for the month of April, please. This one. Let's get at least one more. Messages for the month of April, please. Okay. Nice compliment to the King of Wands coming up here is Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? And so if the King of Wands is that masculine side, you know, that decisive, powerful side, then this is your nurturing side. And that's coming out as well. I have also been talking a lot about the divine feminine and the divine feminine coming through us this year in a stronger and stronger way. And it's been at least a month that I have very consciously been channeling both Isis and the Blessed Mother have come through for me. Just out of nowhere. Like, I'm not calling them. They're just coming. So I feel like, you know, not only the divine feminine within us, but the divine feminine, like the ascended masters, and that part of literally creator, source creator, is with us and is really helping us, because this is such a time of creation. Okay, so think about how you can mother yourself, how you can care for your own needs while you are also allowing your masculine side to show and to shine, you know, taking your own power back and also nurturing yourself, and then taking both of these energies and applying it toward the people in your life. Okay. Next is get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. I've also been getting lots and lots of messages about connecting with nature, going out in nature, putting my feet on my bare feet on the ground, and getting grounded. And so I think that will help you, especially if you tend to get in your head about any kind of stressful situations involving other people. A lot of those relationship issues are coming up this month. So do get yourself grounded. It will help you make decisions. It will help you know what your truth is, as opposed to what your anxiety is, right? Because your anxiety is like the opposite of your truth. That's your fear. Your truth is going to come through much more clearly if you can get yourself grounded. Get out in nature, put your bare feet on the ground, breathe a lot, send your awareness down to your feet, down into your earth, or down into the earth, or your earth, however you want to see it, and ground your energy. That's going to be so important for making sure that you have a grip on the decisions you're making, what your choices are, and making sure that you are fairly balancing those scales in whatever direction you need to go with it. Okay. So looks like we got a lot of work ahead of us this month again. I know you guys can do it, and I appreciate you all. If you want to set up a private session with me, go to IamEmilyGear.com, and all the options are online there. But other than that, please like, subscribe, share, comment. I appreciate you guys so much, okay? I will talk to you soon.